easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Listen to these words. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Bring it down hard.
What are you doing? Zero.
Dance off, bro. Me and you. Come on. Son, get back.
We're talking about Halloween news now. Falcon, Winter Soldier, then there's Loki coming next. The movies and on TV and the comics and the verse. It's Geek News Now. Here's your host, Chris.
Welcome back to MCU Mondays on Geek News Now. I am Chris, and I'm holding a shivering dog because I'm dog sitting and there's a thunderstorm. So there's some added excitement tonight. I've got two wonderful people with me today. My co-hosts, Debbie. Tell them about yourself, Debbie.
I'm Debbie. I'm part of the social media squad. I'm responsible for getting all the stuff out on different websites and Twitter and Instagram, and that's what I do. And I co-host with my wonderful friend, Chris.
We get along really well all the time.
There you go.
And
you
it's
go.
wonderful. And
There you
we're
go.
joined today by William of the Geek Gauntlet and much more.
Oh,
William,
yeah.
tell the people about yourself.
Oh, yeah, I got more podcasts that I host than I can count. But my name is William Morgan. I'm host of the Geek Gauntlet podcast right here on GNN. Go over everything in the world of geek as much as we can in one solid hour every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time right here on GNN.
Right here on GNN. And you heard it, you can catch it every Saturday night. I caught it this Saturday night. I mean, I don't care what you're a fan of. He covers everything. They cover every single thing you can think of. And I don't know how they do it in that much time. I could see actually you counting the minutes and stuff. It's pretty impressive.
I am. That little timer, that timer goes off over there. Yeah.
You're just like, we got to go to a break, so we got to move on to the next thing. And I'm sitting there typing like, but I want to just say something about this. And sometimes he throws it back, and he's like, all right, I got to give it up for that. So, he, you know, get in there, get in the comments, and you can, you know, get in on the fun, just like you can here. Where today, what, you know, we love to see the comments. We love to talk about, we're talking about this because we like talking about it. We assume you do too. We want to hear what you think so we can respond to it. You know, that's half of the fun, I think.
That's right.
So today, what we're talking about is Loki. The first episode specifically to start off. And it's the one that I was looking forward to the most. William, what are your just general thoughts on this, the beginning of the show, on this new series?
It started off just a tad bit slow, but then it really built up to a crescendo later on in the show. And it just, if anyone knows me, I like shows that have the main character with a personal trauma or going through some type of personal situation. And in this case, it's Loki trying to figure out his own identity, what he is. And we sort of kind of get to see that just a little bit in this episode. And I loved it. Then you also saw the Infinity Stones powerless. You saw the Tesseract powerless. That was just amazing. The best weapons that anyone can have in the Marvel universe just rendered in Earth.
Yep. We're going to go through it step by step in a little bit here, but you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's pretty bewildering to see after everything we've seen, everything everyone works so hard for some of these, you know, for some of the things we just saw, to be like, is it meaningless? And I, you know, we'll
it's not
see.
meaningless, but
but
I want to say one more thing.
Sure.
Anytime you get Owen Wilson in anything, you're doing good. You're doing good. That's the man right there. That's the man right there.
Wow.
That's the
I
man
totally
right
agree.
there. That's the man right there. He's awesome.
I think I said that since the first time I saw him was in a trailer reaction we were doing on MCU Mondays, and I was just like, yes!
That's the man right there. That's the
I'm
man right there.
watching this thing no matter what. Like,
Yes.
I was excited for Tom Hiddleston and Loki. I was excited, and then it was just like, oh, by the way, Owen Wilson is like his time cop partner. It was just like,
just add to it. Add to it. Yes.
absolutely. Debbie, overall opinion, first episode Loki, just your basic, very basic overall, because we're going to go through it step by step here in a second.
Well, I'm with William. It wasn't a wham bam, thank you, man kind of episode, but boy, there was a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of hints to this and that and the other, which we'll get into later. But it was a good episode, and you can't do any better than a naked Loki. So
I was going to say that was in this episode. It's been teased in the trailers. Bada bing, bada boom.
that was just worth it right there for me. So
I thought it was I mean, I'm agreeing with both of you. And I know I probably should have said earlier about the spoilers for episode 1 of Loki, but here you go. I mean, you should have figured that out. It's already like almost a week later.
If you haven't seen it yet, see it first, then double back here.
Yeah. But it's like, I figure at this point, it's not even like, because it used to come out on like Fridays. We talk about Mondays. Now with Loki, it's coming out on Wednesdays. I'm like, if you haven't seen it by now, I don't even know what you're doing. Why are you watching this?
Right,
Go watch it.
Right.
Then come back and watch this.
Then come back and watch this.
Absolutely. But so I was so looking forward to this because as much as WandaVision I enjoyed and Falcon and Winter Soldier I enjoyed, I figured that this one was going to be blowing stuff up in terms of actual universe-wide or MCU universe-wide stuff, and it already is. But we'll get to each point as we go. I do want to mention that we've now got merchandise for Geek News Now. You can check in the links below. You can see it. You can get some general merchandise just for Geek News Now, and I managed to get a boner alert t-shirt.
I cannot wait to get mine.
Oh my god.
It's available. I've ordered a couple things to see what they actually look like, but I'm expecting it all to come out fine. So maybe wait a couple weeks and see how it looks when I'm wearing it here on the show. But it's available now if you want to just risk it.
I also need y'all real quick. I'm trying to get the role of Black Manta and Aquaman too. So definitely hashtag William for Black Manta. There you go.
William for Black Manta.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I want to see you in a giant helmet with huge eyes that shoot even bigger laser beams. Because that's what an underwater villain needs.
Yeah, that's right.
Laser beam. It doesn't have to make sense. It's the comics.
It's comics.
But absolutely, I'm down for you for that role. But
thank you, sir.
We don't have much pull here at MCU Mondays on the DC stuff.
Nope.
But what we can do is get into this Loki. First thing we had, basically, they rehashed the events of how he escaped. And then we have him landing in Mongolia. Now, this scene, him falling out of the sky, did anyone else have this?
Iron Man,
Yeah.
Yes.
Same kind of, except, Iron Man, he was escaping from a prison in a device of his own design, whereas Loki, it was much more through trickery. And so Loki, instead of, being released and, oh, yay, he's free, he's imprisoned afterwards. So it's kind of a flip on that situation. You did it. You escaped. You're free. And not even close. And speaking of which, what happens absolutely next, it's the only clip I got from the show, but in my opinion, it's one of the best ones. Yeah.
That was so awesome.
And
but that also brings up an interesting point, because one of the few times you see an Asgardian guy basically powerless. There was nothing he could do about his situation at all.
He wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, he just got beat by, yes, the Avengers team, but he's like, and that's all that he's experienced. Again, this is 2012 Loki, who just escaped from them. He got whooped by the Hulk, but he still has a very high opinion of himself and what he is. You see that later in the judges scene when he's like, maybe I should talk to them God to God. And it's clear that he still doesn't understand that, like, you're not a god to any of these people. The same as like, if you tried to pull that god shit on Thor, like he's not going to be like, oh, you know, it's
yeah.
Although also, speaking of Iron Man and speaking of Loki being alive, I was reminded of this scene from Iron Man 2.
I'm not saying that from the ashes of captivity never has a greater phoenix metaphor been personified in human history.
Never has a greater phoenix metaphor been personified in human history. And now we find out that, you know, the overall course of this show, they revealed it at the end of episode 1. I'm not sure if they should have done that, but they did, that the variant that they're getting Loki to help them chase is in fact Loki. Which, if, you know, did either of you, when you were watching the scene where this came up, now I know Mephisto confirmed, but no, but when you that was your first thought, obviously, because it's so much you can't help it. You can't help it. It's like, don't think of a giant green elephant. Well, you just, because I said, you know, so they showed you a picture of, but then after that, they did not. I at least had the thought, I was like, horns. And I was like, a kid. It's just a kid trying to describe what they saw. Maybe something they saw had horns. Who wears horns?
Yep.
Loki.
Loki does.
And I think Owen Wilson at that point says something about a devil bearing gifts. And that ties into the whole thing of like, he's trying to get to the bottom of why Loki does what he does. But before we get there, that's skipping ahead a little bit. Loki gets captured, gets hit in the face, powerless. And just dragged away into somewhere he doesn't understand. They turn in the Tesseract, and the guy at the desk is like, sounds dumb. And he's like, you got to be super careful. The guy's like, sounds dumb. And then they're like, here's the robot test. Do a lot of people not know if they're robots? And in the Marvel universe, I mean, life model decoys,
which
is
that
is Doombots, so
yeah.
And actually, it's so funny because the guy who's asking the questions, when that guy's like, when Loki says to a lot of people not know if they're robots, he's like, okay, that's confirmed. You know, it's like you actually just answer the question by saying that.
Shit.
What happens if I am a robot? You'll be incinerated from the inside out.
Exactly.
And Loki's like, he hesitates because, like, what if I don't know I'm a robot?
What if I don't know?
What if you don't know? What if, you know? And life model decoys, while they've been in the MCU for, I mean, or not in the MCU, in Marvel for a very long time, they've been not in the MCU at all, really, other than the fact that in the first Avengers movie, when Coulson calls Tony Stark to try and get his attention, Tony answers the phone by saying, "You've reached the life model decoy of Tony Stark," and they use it as a joke, but
that's the only
people like me were like,
yeah. That's only when you saw
life model decoy. That's a thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, now very much they're hinting at that sort of thing. And also with the shape changers they've already hinted at. So you can see how many different ways they're going. So that was fun. What did you guys think of the introductory to the Time Variance Authority? William?
I thought it was so interesting because of the fact that it's something that you've never really seen before in terms of how they work. You've seen entities like it, but you haven't seen anything like that. They're very, and they said so in the episode, they're very formidable. With what they have. I was sort of kind of impressed though that Loki sort of kind of figured a way around the collar and the button. We'll get into that a little bit later. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I was very, the introduction was cool.
It was great to see him kind of like bewildered.
Yeah.
He's very used to being able to take advantage of any given situation. You could see him like,
yeah, he can't do no. He's
and powerful. They literally had that. Sorry, Debbie, go ahead.
I was just saying he's just powerless. He can't do anything, and it takes him a little bit to realize that, because there's the scene where he's trying to use his power and
Don't work. Don't work.
Just
Don't
get him in
work.
it, and that's also kind of a callback to when he tries to use the staff on Tony Stark, and Tony's just like, well,
Oh yeah.
sometimes performance issues. But this is a different thing. This is a different thing entirely. That probably had something to do with like the technology and not actually touching whatever. This is the Time Variance Authority. Like that doesn't work here. Right. And we get into some other stuff. But before even that, we had this character.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes, the whole explanation video that was setting up so much stuff,
and I like the tone Miss Minutes had during the whole thing.
Absolutely,
awesome.
Cheery
the tone
and cheerful.
Yes.
She are telling you how things are going to be, and I think it was narrated by Tara Strong.
It sounded like her.
And the animation style was very much in that like Schoolyard Rock, like that age of animation, which is also something I absolutely love about the whole thing, is that they use a lot of like hard copy stuff, analog stuff, because that was always a thing that messed with me when I was thinking about the future. Like, oh, look, our entire system of buttons that we use to fly the spaceship are based on these points of light that we touch, based on this thing and I was like, what if one of that thing breaks? Do you have a lever that you can actually pull to do a thing, or was everything through this new futuristic touchscreen that if that breaks, now you're screwed? No, because you have to have an analog.
Right.
That's the core thing, the paper file, the video tape, the tape. When they show Loki his life, it's on a tape. And I guarantee you, I didn't have time again to go back and look at I tried to, but I was trying to get some other stuff. But if you go back and look at the end of the tape that his life is on, it's two different realities that they say.
Yeah, Earth 616 and Earth 615, I think it was.
It was 615.
And so whatever it was, it's more than just one, which is going to say like they show how constantly these different realities are breaking off. But but here's the thing. Which left unchecked could branch off into madness.
Now
a Nexus event and madness.
Now, what do you know that's called madness that we're going to get soon?
A multiverse. And that's the whole thing. They even said the Time Lords or the Time Variance Authority, like the Timekeepers, took the warring realities and forged it into one sacred timeline so that there would never be another multiverse war. Mm-hmm. What movie's coming out soon? Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. Well, I got to assume based off that there's going to be a multiverse.
Yep. They already told you it's coming.
They've very heavily just said like, this is what happens when you have a multiverse. There's a multiverse war.
Oh yeah.
And Doctor Strange is coming up in Multiverse of Madness. So draw your own conclusions.
Well,
and before that, we still get What If.
And Wanda is a Nexus.
Yes.
Yeah, that was mentioned in.
And Kang, the Conqueror, is also a Nexus. So, and we're going to see him supposedly in Ant-Man 3. So that's
Quantum Mania.
That'll be interesting.
I like
exactly
Kang.
where they're going with it.
I like Kang. Kang is cool.
And another thing, I can't remember. Raven something another, the lady judge.
Mm-hmm.
I think she ends up in the comics. She ends up being Kang's girlfriend.
Wow.
And she does have more. I mean, we've seen more of her in the trailer and stuff than what we just saw in this episode. So there's more of her to come.
Oh yeah.
In this series
I heard it's going to be kind of her origin story. So, that'll if that's true, then that could lead to the her and Kang getting together. So
it'd be interesting.
Absolutely. Loki questions what the hell the Time Variance Authority is actually doing. When the DB Cooper thing, which was kind of like, here's a throwaway scene. At least as I saw it, like, was it fun? Yes, but did it literally just take up 5,
Yeah, it's like
7,
a 5, 7. Yeah.
with just something you could like throw into a trailer, and I see all of that, but at the same, I'm like, okay, all right. But he uses that to say like, oh, so what? The Time Variance Authority is fine with that kind of nonsense, that kind of mischief, and he's just like, yeah, that was fine. Look, mischief is fine. Blah 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 is fine. It's when you're going to create a multiverse event that's not fine.
Right.
And
Well,
that
in a lot of the websites, Facebook sites that I follow, there's so many people. I don't know if they just didn't get it or understand. Because they were complaining about, but the Avengers traveled back in time. Why is that okay? Well, that's fine because it's in their own timeline. It's
That's
when
what they were supposed to do it.
It doesn't even, they even said it in the episode. So to those people, you just say, I think you need to actually watch the episode instead of just thinking of something you can punch into Facebook that'll get some attention. If you watch the episode,
I can't tell you how many times I face palmed myself because I'm just like, really, people? And they didn't get why the Infinity Stones weren't working there at the why they weren't working. Well, they only work within their own universe.
Right.
So what's so hard to understand? I mean, I'm not a smart person, but hello.
But you've been following comics and the like for a long time. I've been saying it for a little while, but I was like, they have to introduce the general public to multiverse, multiple Earth, multiple reality, multiple timeline theory, because not everyone is on board with that as nerds are, geeks are, as we are, because I'm used to DC, I'm used to Marvel, I know how the multiple iterations of different things work. Other people are like, this is the MCU. It exists as one thing, and that's the only way it can ever be. And I'm like, that's exactly why they're doing this stuff right now, because it's not ever just one thing.
Exactly.
And David is with us now. Welcome.
Hey!
What's up, man?
Hey.
What's up, man?
I had to do a late dinner tonight, fellas. I'm sorry.
You good? You good?
Glad to have you with us, man. Glad you could make it. We actually just talked a little bit about your favorite character. But we didn't talk about like your favorite aspect of her, which I absolutely love. So who does that character remind you of?
Oh, it's Mr. DNA. Oh, Mr. DNA, where did you come from? From your blood.
Dino DNA.
Absolutely. We were hoping last episode that we'd get to see more of her, and I hope to still see more of her within the show, but we definitely got to see a lot in that first episode with the whole explanation of the multiverse. We were just talking about that, the Nexus events, and I really love, again, the animation style is very like Schoolhouse Rock, that type of, here's your basic, here you go, here's all the basics of everything you need to know. And that's the whole point, is it's not really ever that simple.
Right.
Dino DNA isn't that simple.
Not that simple at all.
Neither are multiple timelines.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. And the way she did it, particularly at the point she was given the consequences, she was still just as dainty and friendly, like crazy, man. It's like, really?
Positive attitude.
Positive attitude. You're gonna die if you try to escape, but you gonna have a positive attitude.
That's exactly. They juxtapose it exactly with her talking in the background, doodly doo. But that one guy getting disintegrated for not even having a ticket.
Yeah.
And he's like, Loki's like, I got my ticket.
I got mine. I got mine.
That harkened back to that scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where he throws the guy off the Zeppelin and he's like, no ticket. Everybody's like, oh.
No ticket. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a good catch right there.
Oh man. All right, guys, I gotta roll out. Thank y'all for having me. I do appreciate it.
Glad you could be here.
You guys,
where are you headed to right now? You got.
Yes, I have another podcast I have to do. It's the Sports Report podcast over on Pinfall Streams. If you guys get done, and if you're into sports, definitely come and join me.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Have a great night.
Bye.
You too.
Peace.
All right. Well, that was William. of Geek Gauntlet, and obviously he's going to do his other pinfall stream right now on sports, but Geek Gauntlet is the one he does here on GNN. And man, they're every Saturday night. They cover everything that happened in the week that has to do with geeks. Man, I was there last Saturday and they covered everything. I was like, man, I don't even need to watch this stuff anymore because I just got caught up in an hour. But David, with us here, we've been talking about Loki. Why don't you give us your thoughts on the episode, whatever you want to go into. We've been talking about some stuff and getting in detail on stuff, but everyone, so don't worry about holding anything back. Just
I liked there were a couple of things. One, I liked the fact that the DB Cooper scene was just kind of it wasn't like an integral part of the story. It was just kind of a flashback to like, hey, look what I did. And yeah, it was just a. It was.
That's so funny.
He said, and that was the thing too, because he said, "Oh, I lost a bet with Heimdall and my brother," and it was like, okay, all right, well.
And it was kind of just a throwaway scene. I was not criticizing it for that, but I was just like, they use that in trailers, to maybe make you think like, oh, that's building up this big sequence of events, and it's like, nah, that was just a lost bet. And
that's a boner alert right there.
And speaking of which, now you can get the T-shirt, the official. Check the link below. You don't want to miss out on that. In the description. But that's we were talking about how that scene, the DB Cooper scene, is used as just a way for Loki to question, like, what do you guys actually even do here? Like, that was fine with you? You didn't care about me meddling in the events of man or whatever then? And they're like, no, that was all part of the sacred timeline. Yeah, that's fine.
And he did the same thing with where he was like, oh, well, the Avengers did all of this too. He's basically throwing the Avengers under the bus, and they're like, no. They were supposed to do that.
That was supposed to happen. That was according to plan. We were just talking about that. Debbie was talking about how she had seen people posting on Facebook about how, like, well, how come Loki's getting arrested for this if the Avengers did it? And I was like, did you tell those people to go watch the episode?
They kind of explain it.
They would hear the
I thought they explained it very well.
They very explicitly, they just said that was supposed to happen and what you did wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, they were within their own timeline, so it didn't mess with anything.
But and too, something else too, because you've got the Loki from 2012. He's what did they call him? A variance now?
A variant, yeah.
Variance. But I liked the way that they explained, because he went through and he watched the rest of his life, if you will, from. But they got
He saw what happened to him.
He saw what happened to him. He saw his.
Should he not have grabbed the Tesseract? What was supposed to happen?
And then he said something. He said, I can't ever go back, can I?" So basically, the way I look at this is that they've pulled Loki completely out of the timeline. The Loki that we all know and love from the MCU just went on and did what he was supposed to do. He died at the end of Infinity War, and this is a variant Loki that's going to be out running all over everywhere.
How do we know? Here with this,
because they explained it.
I know, but no. When it comes to Lokis, though, when it comes to things like that, how do we know that the Loki that we see from the rest of time in that timeline isn't just robot Loki or a life model decoy or something? Because real Loki is here, or he's the variant that they talk about at the end that they're actually chasing, which. Again, we talked a little bit about this when they flashed that on the screen. First of all, Mephisto confirmed. We know. We already went through that. But also, that's the horn. So it was Loki. I was very surprised when they announced at the end, this is the guy we're chasing. I was like, I thought that would have been a bigger reveal for later. So do you think that's a trick? Like, there's all kinds of mischievous things going on here.
Well, it could be one of two things. I do think Lady Loki's going to be in it. I don't know how much she's going to play or have a big effect on the show, but there is a possibility that it could be Eichel, which is Loki spelled backwards. MCU is, or the Marvel comics are real creative. But Eichel was the very evil Loki, and he went on to do some pretty twisted things. I mean, we've seen our Loki do some pretty devastating things, but evidently Eichel is a lot worse. So
well, we also, I mean, we saw kind of this episode. Owen Wilson's character, Agent Mobius, was trying to break down why. Like, why do you do the things that you do? And he accuses the same reason that he gives for doing what he does is the same thing he accuses the Time Variance Authority of doing to him or to like everyone. And that's, you know, creating an illusion to make other people feel fear. So it's the weak inspiring fear in other to make themselves feel strong or appear strong. He originally accuses the Time Variance Authority of doing that, and then at the end he says that's what he's doing. But at that point, I'm even wondering, does he already have a plan? Because he figured out Infinity Stones don't work. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he just gave up and now is just going to be like, okay, I'll just work for the Time Variance Authority. I'm sure he hasn't come up with another plan. Like when he was messing with that chick, like, you know, he's not evil per se, but like she also messed with him heavily, so he had a chance to get some petty revenge, and he got some pretty petty, awesome, hilarious revenge. What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think he's like already got a plan?
I don't know, because I mean he's come to, after watching his life story the way it was supposed to work out, I mean, he's come to the realization that he can never go back to that. So it might be him coming to accept that he's going to be, excuse me, he's going to be stuck there. And if he helps, now, yeah, he's going to try and work things to his benefit, but he's not going to get disintegrated if he helps, you know, find the other evil variant. So
that's part of the reason that Owen Wilson even gives for like trying to use him. And he says it to Loki's face, is like, you're the worst person ever unless you're trying to suck up to someone in power. In which case you're their best friend until you turn on them. So it's like, you know, what David, what are your opinion? What did you think of, as far as this first episode goes, what did you think of Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson he is an American treasure. Everything he touches turns to gold. And Loki was already gold because of Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston makes, you know, you just say, okay, Loki, and it's Tom Hiddleston. I don't care who else is in it. It's going to be great. You throw Owen Wilson into the mix. Man, okay, a long time ago, I say a long time ago.
You got your peanut butter and my chocolate.
I gotta. I was thinking back to when I saw Jurassic World for the first time, and I was like, man, this movie has Chris Pratt in it. It's got Vincent D'Onofrio in it. It's got dinosaurs in it, and people getting chased, and big dinosaurs eating smaller dinosaurs. The only thing that this movie is missing to make it a perfect movie is Star Wars in the title. So here we're kind of dealing with the same thing. It's like, okay, we got a show about Loki. It's in the Marvel Universe. It's got Tom Hiddleston in it. It's got Owen Wilson. If Chris Hemsworth appears in it, gold. But as far as his character in this one, I think it's very interesting the route that they're taking with it, because like you said, he had said so many times about, you know, why do you do what you do? Why do you, he's like, it's a lot like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they're, or even, let me think, even like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, or the, Endgame movie, where they're really trying to delve into the psyche of somebody and say, let's see what makes you tick, so that we can fix the bad stuff and keep the good stuff.
Yep. And in this case, I don't even know if that's going to be the case. Like, I think that's kind of what they're aiming for. Well, or aiming for you to think like, oh, look, they're going to turn Loki into a good guy or something like that. No, I'm calling it right now. He's starting the multiverse war. He's causing the multiverse conflict. Okay, so what's about the thing with all the? Here's a central plot point. We haven't talked about it once yet this entire time. He's stealing the reset grenades. The variant Loki. He's luring the Time Variance Authority into traps. How does he know how to do that? From having worked with the Time Variance Authority and knowing how they do things. The Loki that we've seen this entire episode, he doesn't know how they do things. He's completely baffled by half the things that happen to him. Their weapons, he doesn't understand them. He doesn't understand that Infinity Stones don't work. He's when he sees the timeline after he sees the Infinity Stone's not working, he says, is this the greatest power in the universe? Well, that there could be what inspires him to create his new plan, which is rule time. Owen Wilson almost even sets it up perfectly when Loki's talking about what he wants to rule next. Like, planet Earth, wouldn't that be nice? Well, how about space? Space is big. And what does Loki see eventually? Time. Could be better than space. Time. And the thing about Loki is that it's that mischievous, the chaos. He's the chaos. He's the ghost in the machine kind of thing. Like, the thing that's gonna, all your best laid plans will, maybe he'll just totally, and now he's actually coming to fruition in that effect, in that he's gonna screw up the sacred timeline. Gotcha. Like, oh, dude, you are the god of mischief. Now you're earning that title, because when you walked into the Time Variance Authority, but you start a multiverse war. I'm starting to believe you are the god of chaos. You're the god of mischief, my friend.
Well, with the I'm going to continue on with the possible Eichel theory.
Okay, yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well,
evil Loki.
He could possibly be working with Kang again. And the reason he is stealing all of the reset charges is to create, if they are following the comics, and that would be to create a God bomb.
God bomb.
And that would eliminate all the gods in the universes. So like I said, Marvel, the MCU doesn't always follow exactly with the comics. They take bits and pieces here and there. So watching these shows, it's always interesting what parts they're going to take from it.
Yeah. It's kind of like an interpretation.
It's just lining up so well for that storyline, but I could be totally wrong.
Mephisto confirmed.
Yes.
There you go. I actually saw a theory online too, and God, I can't remember where I saw it, but they were talking about, you had mentioned Kang, and the theory was that if you look at the you never really saw the three beings that compose the TVA, you just kind of saw sculptures or whatever of them, and somebody pointed out, oh, look, one of those sculptures looks like Kang. That means Kang's been hinted at now. Kang is now a part of the. It's the whole Mephisto route. It's the whole.
When
it's
people
Mephisto
saw this,
confirmed.
they were like,
well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Kang, or wasn't he a timekeeper at one point in the comics?
Isn't he also like the distant offspring of
Thanos? Or no?
I was gonna say Reed Richards, but I could be off on that too.
I don't know.
I thought it was someone like that. Anyway, I thought it was someone. I thought he was also partially the offspring of someone who was like Marvel property, but hadn't been introduced in the MCU yet, like one of the Fantastic Four or something like that. But I'm not an official source on the comics by any means. I just read tons and tons of stuff, and then things get confused in my head. So I don't want to say Reed Richards confirmed.
We're
Oh,
so
no,
like
no, no.
Chris, it's scary.
Well,
It's
we
very
missed
scary.
Mephisto in WandaVision. We missed Reed Richards in WandaVision. Sure, well,
I just
Excuse
wanted
me.
to have a
Say-
longer boner alert. This
the picture of the devil, the stained glass window or whatever that was.
Mhm.
That was the first thing that I mean. I was sitting there watching it with Luke, and Luke turns around and goes, "Oh, it's Mephisto! They finally did it!" Yeah. And I got to looking at it, and I was like, "Yeah, but Loki's helmet has horns on it too, and
that's what we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
and Mobius also says something along the lines of the one we're hunting is you."
Mhm.
He's
Well,
you.
yeah, he literally says that at the end, like, we're the one you're. That's why I was like, why did you give it away at the end of the episode? I think I said that earlier before you were here. Because when he was in that scene, first of all, it's a kid. He's asking a kid, who'd you see? You point to something with horns because I saw somebody with horns. Like, and
Right.
how often do you see something like that in 15th century France or wherever the hell it was? So, yeah, the thing with horns. Okay. Oh, and it gave me this gum from the future or whatever. A devil bearing gifts. And so again, this ties into the whole thing of now I was surprised. I took from that, I was like, dude, I bet it's Loki they're hunting. But I don't sound nearly as cool saying that when at the end of the episode they're like, we're hunting you, Loki. I'm like, I can't sound nearly as cool now. You gave it away too early. Yeah, at least wait an episode. But that made me even think that there's going to be even more tricks and turns coming our way. Maybe it's not Loki, it's Lady Loki or multiverse of madness is coming up. What if is coming out even before that? And so multiverse stuff, if there's multiverse Loki's coming in possibly at this point. So Eichel or Lady Loki or we're hunting you, Loki. That's a mislead, or as we like to call it.
There it is.
Could be like a version of Loki.
That was amazing, especially because it kept going and going and going, and you're laughing at it, and then she comes in like real time and says, "Oh yeah, you're feeling all of that, aren't you?" And I was like,
you are moving right now at 1/16th time, but you're experiencing the pain of it in regular time. And it's just like, but while you're moving at 1/16th time, you're still feeling all of the pain and like your awareness, like his awareness is regular speed. He just can't move. Like his body's moving, but his awareness of what's happening is at regular speed. He just can't do anything about it. Just like that's the first minute. That's like when you get smacked in the face by the universe. Have you ever thought you were on top of the world and then the world smacked you in the face? It's lucky you
Never
didn't
day
die.
occurrence in my life, so
I like to say that's one of my sayings. Apparently, is like, gotta look out for the world smacking you in the face because the world's a lot bigger than you, and you'll probably die.
Oh, now the secretary too. What was his name? Casey. Yeah. So I sat there and I was watching that, and I was like, "Who is that guy? Why do I know him?" Yeah, him.
He's been in a couple things.
he's a comedian.
I know he is, and it finally hit me. I watch Tacoma FD on Hulu, which is like if you've seen Super Troopers from Broken Lizard, it's like Super Troopers, only it's a fire station. But he's got a big major part now. Aha, that's where I know him from. So
and it's great to see people like that you recognize from other the MC. Oh, you're in the MCU now. Congratulations. Oh,
you've just taken your first step into a larger world.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what I wouldn't give.
So, did you guys catch the? Well, one I know for sure is an Easter egg. The other one, not so sure. Did you catch the so-called Stan Lee cameo?
Did.
If you have to call it so-called, but tell me more.
When they're walking, you didn't catch that when they're walking into court, and you see the little murals on the wall. One of the murals has, I don't know, like 3 or 4 people in it, and they're like wearing red sashes, and then front and center, it looks like a very young Stan Lee, possibly from like oh shoot, which one? I forget what movie that was, but I mean the big mustache, the glasses.
Yeah, from a Endgame, where he was in the 70s.
Mhm.
Yes. And then the other one, when he steals the little time twister thing from Mobius, and he ends up in that hallway, and then you see somebody coming in, one of the time variance cops, and he's got a woman. Now everybody is jumping on the fact that it's Peggy Carter.
Yep.
I mean, there was
John Biscardi from The Geek and I sent me that picture earlier today. So that's where I first saw it. And I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, why is that so blurry? And then I go back because I zoomed in on it. And I was like, oh, because it's a person way in the background that has the same haircut. And what the hell? And so what I sent back to him, he sent me that he was like Peggy Carter variant. I know he's just kind of like saying that to help me out with the show and everything. He's not necessarily like fully serious about it. But I sent him back. I was just like, enhance. It's like we can't increase the number of pixels, all right?
I mean, it's a very good likeness of her, but I don't know if it's exactly.
Well, that's like, in the trailer, I would say it's comparable to the trailer, which, they've said, oh, is that Black Widow?
Black Widow.
Lady Loki, it's, well, from the back with the right haircut and hairstyle. And wait, do we need more women in the MCU so that this isn't such an easy thing to, that's got to be, well, because like, oh, what? I see a guy with a crew cut in the back. Steve Rogers is back. He's not on the moon. He's a white man with a crew. How could it not be him? We need to vary the hairstyles more.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories going around that Steve got in trouble because he went back to, spend his life with Peggy, and now they were in trouble. I'm like, yeah, people, get a clue. Did anybody
and also, she wouldn't be in trouble. Why would they arrest her? What are they using? Actually, like 1940s gender stereotypes as well. Well, she's the woman, so just arrest her and put her in the sanitarium.
Did anybody get,
okay.
at the end of the show? I mean, because my first thought was Luke Skywalker, because you got the green lighting going on, and then he's got. It's the Luke Skywalker event we were looking for. That was my first thought was, wow, that's kind of reminded me of Luke Skywalker.
At the end with the fire?
Yes. The person that's standing there and they're holding up the lantern.
It's Mephisto.
Yeah. Oh, it's someone in a hooded cloak. Who do you want it to be? Okay, you want it to be Luke? Oh, it's Luke Skywalker. Yeah. I wanted it to be Palpatine. Well, it's Agatha. It's been her all along. I thought that was clear in the song. That was in the first show we did.
I thought it was Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Well, that is a Luke Skywalker level cameo. So.
Oh. But I did love watching Loki going through the emotions when he's watching the rest of the tape when Mobius isn't in there. Absolutely. And I mean, it kind of teared me up because
it kind of teared him up too.
It's after he escapes too. He's thinking, aha, I knew it. You couldn't actually hold me. I am Loki. I am, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, he gets that. And he's like, what? Because he was glorying in holding the Tesseract. And then he looks and he's like, there's a box of Infinity Stone. And then he sees like the sacred timeline. Is this the greatest power in the universe? And then he goes and watches the rest of his life and what it amounted to. But now things have changed. now I'm here. Time doesn't work quite the same in the time variant. Now I'm here with possibly what is the greatest power in the universe for now. Multiverse, if Loki has his way, because with more universes, there's more opportunity for mischief.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's going to, at every opportunity, try to do something to his benefit, because that's the Loki we have right now.
And
we
also, we have
the 2012 Loki who's arrogant, thinks he can do whatever he wants, you know. So, yeah, we're going to go back to that version of Loki, which was fun to watch because
even when Loki was becoming a good guy, he was still being a dick. Okay? Remember Ragnarok? That's probably what you're thinking of. Loki's a good guy now. He tried to betray Thor. He did multiple times. He tried to betray him again at the end. And he did steal the Tesseract at the end. Which is why at the beginning of Infinity War, when Thor's like, we don't even have it. And he's like, I did. I'm not. I'm trying. All right. I'm a reform. Look, okay. This is the best I could do, which is, hey. And so even if he's at his most redemptive point, he was still basically kind of being a conniving douche. I mean, he turns his back on Thanos immediately. That's the kind of guy he is. Now, I would like his allies are his allies until he turns against them. That is, I mean, look, that's what he does. That's what he's going to do here. And that's why I think this is manipulation. At the end, when he says the thing that he does to other people, and then he said, like, that's why I think he's saying that so that he can get the reaction that he wants out of Mobius, so that he can get the trust that he needs to then assume the greatest power in the universe. Because that's Loki.
Yeah, this is the arrogant, egotistical Loki, which I still love. But it's not
he's a bad guy.
I'm saying he never really
because he dances
bad.
in a club doesn't make it good.
Thank you. You get it.
He's evil.
You get it. You get it. Yes, exactly.
Just like
Zemo. That's why they sent Zemo to prison at the end. Hello.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? See, he was a bad guy, and then he saw his life, he saw how it unfolded, and because he cried over it, now he's a good guy.
Shut up and take my money.
He just changed just like that.
That's right.
It's that easy. Well, he did one thing I liked, and that's, what have you done for me recently? That good enough. Yay. Those other movies were like 4 years ago. Who remembers that long?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
I do. Oh my gosh, but I mean,
I have been falling for 30 minutes.
I guess it's time.
I was ready for another one like that. I was ready for another falling.
Hey, let's do get help. What? Get help. No. Come on, you love it. I hate it. It's great. It works every time. It's humiliating. Do you have a better plan? No. We're doing it.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him!
Classic. Still hate it? It's humiliating. No, not for me, it's not.
Those two, I love the way they bounce off each other. It's awesome.
Bounce off each other. Okay. Now we're having fun. And in light of that fun, I think we're ready to watch the trailer for episode 2.
I didn't even know they came out with one.
Oh, so your reaction will be genuine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either, so I'm looking
fine.
forward to this.
I just downloaded it. I haven't watched it either. This is going to be awesome.
You're having a reaction video. It's
Cue the power going out. There's been thunderstorms. Dogs are shaking in my arms. I mean, but here we go before I jinx it even more.
his purpose.
You're here to catch time criminals. But if you want to rule the universe, you better help us save it first. What could possibly go wrong? There's like a million things. I want you to help us fix it.
Not my forte.
Pretend your life depends on it. I'm gonna get a snack.
This Wednesday.
I am the god of mischief. It is adorable that you think you could manipulate me.
Wherever, whenever, whatever it takes.
You need the god of mischief to help.
Unbelievable. Wherever you go, it's just death, destruction, the literal ends of worlds.
I know. You can trust me.
Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Why never do it again?
Welcome to the team.
Original series streaming this Wednesday.
So evidently he will be trying to help catch other variants other than himself.
Possibly in the, well, look, if he's look, this is the way you do these things. You hire other people to be your, hey, that's what Thanos did with Loki. It's like, hey, go screw up some stuff over there.
It's the Silence of the Lambs scenario. We need the serial killer to help us hunt the serial killer kind of thing.
And in the meantime, if there's not any current activity from the big dog, maybe there's something on a smaller scale that we can get him involved in. But I still think that their main thing is going to be going after like whatever he is. So it's probably connected in some fashion. And it's like in the first episode when Loki was like, when Owen Wilson, Mobius, was first explaining what he does, he was like, I take down or I hunt down variants. And Loki goes, oh, you mean like me? And he's like, no, like dangerous ones. And it's like, oh. And then, but the thing is, at the end of the episode, you find out that the one he's hunting is in fact Loki. So here's the thing. Why did he say that to Loki? Because at that point, Loki wasn't a dangerous variant. But at some point he will be. Or a different version of him will be. So again, with the multiverse things popping up and timelines and all different kinds of things, there's all different ways they could go with it. I'm excited to see exactly how they do it, and I can't wait to see more of Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston mixing it up. I kind of want to watch it again.
His purpose.
You're here to catch time criminals. But if you want to rule the universe, you better help us save it first. What could possibly go wrong? There's like a million things. I want you to help us fix it.
Not my forte.
Pretend your life depends on it. I'm gonna get a snack.
This Wednesday.
I am the god of mischief. It is adorable that you think you could manipulate me.
Wherever, whenever, whatever it takes.
You need the god of mischief to help.
Unbelievable. Wherever you go, it's just death, destruction, the literal ends of worlds.
I know. You can trust me.
Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Why never do it again?
Welcome to the team.
Original series streaming
For his purpose.
Now, okay. So there was one scene in there where somebody was standing in front of a bunch of computer monitors or TV monitors with the cape on in his head. Yeah, right there. That was it. Doctor Doom confirmed. Do we have a Doctor Doom confirmation?
Doom
Again. Okay, I'm gonna stop again. Look, that's what what did we determine earlier? Someone in a hooded cloak. Apparently it's him. No wonder no one could tell it was Palpatine. Because if you put on a hooded cloak, you can be anyone.
Everybody looks like Palpatine.
So that's Palpatine confirmed.
No,
Palpatine is confirmed. Looking at these, it's a multiverse of madness. Disney on Star Wars, it could happen.
Sure, why not?
Look out for all of my 50,000 rumor videos tomorrow. Don't. Because they're not happening. Don't do it. They're not going to be there. Someone's will be. I probably just gave someone a bang-up idea. You know what I could do to cause a ruckus is... you could. But why not?
I'm actually looking at the... what is it? What was it? He's looking at it looked like a store, electronics, and I think that's
Big
electronics
mall?
on a sport patio goods. Enhance. Can we not enhance this?
What do you make of that?
Enhance.
Where do you think you are?
I don't know. It looks like a like a Walmart or something.
But why? Glorious purpose. Looks to be fun. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Apparently, they're going to hunt some things, fight some things.
Is this going to be one of those ones where it's like every week we get a new bad guy, we take care of the bad guy, and he takes us a step closer to the eventual big bad of the series?
That sounds more like the serial, like Flash type thing. But that's like we can fight someone every week and it doesn't matter necessarily. We take down a villain. In this one, maybe we're working our way up to the Kingpin kind of deal. So could it be something like that? Possibly.
Kingpin. Maybe that's who was watching those the TV monitors.
Now, see, the body.
It's Kingpin confirmed.
Kingpin. I think it's Bane.
Oh, that guy was wearing purple. Maybe it's the Joker.
Joker confirmed. Look out. So I think he's going to take over the sun at some point also. Sun takeover confirmed. Mount Vesuvius, maybe? I don't know.
Pompeii?
I've always been wondering about, like, what are you doing? What happened there? And it's probably because they're being drawn into these situations by, but who knows?
By a variant or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, okay, now they're hunting Loki with Loki, and so smart Loki, who's doing all this stuff, maybe tries to throw him off by doing different things, but who knows? Maybe they're working together the entire time. They're going to have, like, in episode 6, a flashback to episode 1 where they meet up in the Time Variance Authority. And it's just like, also, by the way, Ralph Boner, he's from the multiverse. And then I'm going to be like, anyway. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens next. There's no way that I'm going to be like, well, next time, like with WandaVision, I was like, do you guys think that there's going to be an effect from this? Like the barrier's going to get bigger. And then like half the time things would actually happen in that way. This time I'm like, I don't know. They're going to time travel and stuff.
We're throwing the book out the window on this one.
Yeah.
We're just,
other than the fact that Mephisto's been confirmed.
Yes.
Of course.
They're going to be doing a quantum leap for each episode. Putting right what once went wrong.
Ziggy!
Ow!
David, you missed it at the beginning. We talked a little bit about that and that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You better put Finn up there too, Landon and Finn confirmed.
Only when I don't have Finn confirmed. They're in a desert.
Everybody's in the desert.
That's all we need. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to what, Wednesday? 2 days?
2 days.
Sweet. Anything else, you guys, from this episode that you wanted to talk about before we
just the one little the one scene, what was it? It was I guess like the constipation scene would be a good one where he's standing there going,
oh, and he's trying to use his powers.
And they said he's doing something like he thinks he's going to use his powers. They're laughing at him.
He's trying to use his powers. Yep. And then he's like, that doesn't work here. And that's there's still some questions about the TVA. They try to like just gloss over, be like, we're the ultimate authority and everything, blah 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 blah. But I think that's the whole point of like Loki being there, is like, I think I can.
And two, Owen Wilson said that one line that's been somewhere else. The time doesn't work the same here. Or time works differently here than what you're used to. Blah blah blah. And in Ragnarok, the Grandmaster said the exact same thing to Thor. He goes, I should be like literally thousands of years old, but
exactly.
I'm Jeff Goldblum.
We don't know how old any of those people are, or any of those things are. As it stands, as we understand it, they were all literally just created to carry out the commands of like the timekeepers. So all of that exists to maintain the sacred timeline. That's why that one dude, what was his name? The comedian, I forget what he was in this, but he could, when they like check this in his evidence, the Tesseract. Casey. He just picks up the Tesseract or whatever, and he just pick it up, and it doesn't do anything to him. But normally, no one can even touch that without being burned, or an Infinity Stone. Just pick up an Infinity Stone, because this is like outside of that, or different, or above, or around, or however you want to have to think about it, above that, like on an order of magnitude. So, everything you've seen so far is almost like dwarfed by this. I've seen some pretty brutal memes about it concerning like the deaths of people in the official MCU sacred timeline. It's like,
yeah, I've seen a lot of pissed off people. So Tony and Gamora and all them dying. Didn't mean
it's not meaningless. That's literally the sacred timeline. And
that's what was supposed to happen.
From not. And yeah, that's not how the Force works. That's.
I mean, even the ancient one, in the first, in the Doctor Strange movie, she says, I've traveled all the way up to this point, and I can never get past this point, because she knew that was her time to go, and she wasn't going to be able to see. It was supposed to happen,
right? And that's like the danger that they don't want to be unleashed, is the possibility of the multiverse, and then a multiverse war of like literally universe versus universe, people from different universe coming in, and like, especially, and that's why they have to take so long to introduce this concept to so many people, because the idea of a different universe coming in to invade our universe, and then other universes that are mimics of our universe also fighting these multiversal wars, to people that aren't used to that sort of thing, is kind of like, what? So you're being introduced to it in Loki, and you're seeing the people's pushback. You're seeing the casuals who are just like, what? So Infinity Stones are just useless? And it's like, no.
Calm down.
No. Okay. Easy. Goose Fraba. Okay. We're not at boner alert yet. Okay. We've actually got a lot of potential. So I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to see what's coming next, and the different reveals we're going to have, and to see, like, again, I liked WandaVision. I liked Falcon Winter Soldier. I think this is going to have more of a major ripple effect on the greater universe, or universes, as it were. But I can't wait. Can't wait for next week. Or this week. Or
I was going to say
2 days from now. Whatever. Okay. I can't wait to talk about it next week, Debbie. Damn it. With you. You lovely co-host. Okay. That's probably a good place to end it. I'll just yell at you, and then everyone
call it good.
Wave goodbye, and that's a great, okay, I'll see you next week, everybody. Hey, don't forget to buy your